All right, earlier today, Hillary Clinton had the audacity to accuse President Trump of ignoring the cybersecurity threat posed by Russia. Okay, the twice-failed presidential candidate warning, quote, the Russians are still coming. Here's the reaction. Fox News national security strategist Sebastian Gorka, nationally syndicated radio talk show host Larry Elder. Dr. Gorka, where do I begin? The dossier, Uranium One, or the reset?
Look, you have to laugh because otherwise you get really, really angry. There is no other Secretary of State that this nation has ever had since 1776 that has done more damage to this country, from Uranium One to FISA-gate to the fact that she had a server that was illegal, that had TSSCI, SAP, classified information on it, that U.S. officials have said is absolutely hackable by nation states, including Russia. I really, really think that this woman needs to get off social media, get off Twitter, and find a lawyer who's better than the lawyer she used to buy that Russian propaganda to get that illegal surveillance warrant against Carter Page.
Larry?
Well, John, as between Russian meddling and the corrosive effect of our left-wing media, the left-wing media has a lot more to answer to. There was an experiment done by a professor named Tim Grosclose, who wrote a book called Left Turn. He wanted to find out what kind of effect the left-wing media had on how people think, how people reason, and more importantly, how people vote. So people who never got the Washington Times, the conservative newspaper, were offered free subscription to the Washington Post, the liberal newspaper, and vice versa. Those that had the liberal newspaper were offered free subscription to the conservative newspaper, and let's find out how this affects how people vote. And in both cases, people shifted. The people that got the liberal newspaper started voting somewhat more liberally. The people that got the Washington Times, the conservative newspaper, started voting a lot more conservatively. He concluded that if people really got their news in a fair and balanced way, half liberal, half conservative, the average state would vote the way Texas does, which is 8 to 10 points in favor of Republican. That is the corrosive effect of our left-wing media, far more damaging than any kind of Russian meddling. And remember, in the indictment of the 13 Russians, the conclusion was the meddling had no effect on our electorate. Imagine the effect of our electorate, of our left-wing media. Far more corrosive, far more powerful, far more damaging.
That's such a good point. Dr. Gorka, respond to that. Because when you think of all that they ignore, it is so profound, and how they cover for their ideology, and it's so pervasive.
Just look at the last 13 months, Sean. What has this president done with regards to Russia? He's alleged to be in the pocket of Vladimir Putin. But what has he done? With the unleashing of oil production in Anwar, the XL pipeline, the fracking, he's destroying Russia's stranglehold on gas and oil. With NATO finally, after 30 years, saying, OK, we're going to pay for our own defense and meet those 2% GDP targets, he's brought the alliance back together. And by saying we're going to arm the Ukrainians, he's doing the opposite of what Hillary and Obama did, who rolled over when Russia invaded the Ukraine.
Let me give Larry the final word.
And don't forget how they threw the Czech Republic and the Poles under the bus because the Russians did not like the defense deal that George W. Bush had negotiated. Let's not forget about all of those things that they've done. And Trump is considered to be too cozy to Putin. Give me a break.
Yeah, well said. Guys, right on target. Thank you both.